Alright, hello, welcome. This will be another bass video for Drummond. So today I want to get a little bit more into Wood, our Alice in Chains song, and we'll take things from there. So first things first, let's get tuned up. I'm all set here. So again, we talked a little bit about our 5th fret method, where we can go to the string below the string we want to get in tune and check it. Still recommend using a tuner, just to make sure all your strings are in the right place. But it's always good to kind of be able to check to make sure your instrument is in tune with itself. So again, we've got our 5th fret on our D string, that's a G, so we can use that for our open note. 5th fret on our A string is a D, so again, our 3rd string open note. And then 5th fret on our E string, our lowest string, that's an A. So good stuff to know, to be able to check yourself, and also just as points of reference. If you know all my open strings are on the 5th frets, you can start to get to know the fretboard a little bit better and get a little bit more comfortable playing in various positions, in different positions all over the neck. So let's get into Wood. I want to continue talking about the verse today a little bit. So we're in E flat here, and you'll notice one thing I kind of wanted to point out for this lick, this particular lick, we are using what is primarily in our pentatonic scale there. So for E flat, so we've talked about the pentatonic scale pretty extensively, and you'll notice, especially this first little run, all that stuff is pretty much right in the pentatonic scale. Even the chorus will fall. Same notes that are in that minor pentatonic scale. So kind of always be aware of that. It's good to kind of point out what key you're in. That helps you with also getting to know the fretboard, so you can know, if I'm in an E flat pentatonic scale, and if someone yells out, "Hey, take a solo," you can go up here, and you can play an E flat minor up there. So that's just kind of maneuverability with your fretboard. So start to try and get to know the different notes in different positions. You'll notice here, these E flats are the same, but it's the same as this E flat, right? So I've got an E flat that I can play way up here, that's still just as low as the E flat that I can play down there, and it's pretty much the same pitch. They have a little bit of a different tone to them, because we've got thicker strings in different spots. But moving on from that, always good to kind of just do a little fretboard work. But let's get into our actual riff here. So we're on E flat. We have a hammer on to our 8th fret. So we're starting on our 6th fret here. That's our 6th fret E flat. And we're going to have a hammer on to our 8th fret. We're going to do that exact rhythm. We're going to go ba da 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 da. And then we go up to F sharp. Let's try and use our pinky on that F sharp if we can. You can slide up with your 3rd finger, but definitely not our 1st finger, because if we get our 1st finger, now my hand is way up here, and that's just like, now I'm gonna have to like slide back down and make a whole giant jump. So it's certainly doable, but we want to get our fingers to a point where they're comfortable, and have pretty much an equal amount of strength. We don't want to be relying on just like our first 2 fingers to do everything, because it's just a little illogical, and things are going to get easier as you get that strength in those fingers. So try and use that 3rd finger there, or excuse me, your pinky, your 4th finger. So it's always good. One thing I'll do when learning a song, especially a song like this, where we've got kind of a peculiar rhythm to this. It's kind of jumpy and could get a little bit lost in itself. So I always just kind of like to sing it out. So it's good to kind of go da 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 The reason I do that is because if you can sing it, chances are you'll be able to play it. It's just kind of a matter of internalizing the part, getting it kind of in your muscle memory too. But if you can sing it, you can get it stuck in your head. The more likely it is that you'll be able to, take what you're thinking and apply it to the fretboard, right? So let's finish this line here. So far, we've got da 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 da. So we're on our F sharp here with our pinky, and we're gonna drop down to E flat with like a little bit of a double hit here. Ba 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 ba. So that's gonna be ba 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 ba, and then a little da 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 da. So all together, 1, 2, ready, go. So it's going to sound mostly like that throughout the song. You'll notice the bass player in Alice in Chains, he has some variations in how he kind of finishes that line. Sometimes you'll hear, or sometimes you'll hear like a lick like that. I would say let's try and get that one as close as we can. So we'll be playing like this. Right? And then it kind of starts over. But listen to it a lot. Listen to it and hear what he's doing. So these are our main 3 notes. We know we're really only going to be functioning with E flat, F, and F sharp, or G flat. So if you listen to it and you just kind of try and play along, you can really hear some of those variations in what he's doing. You can feel the song. You can start to lock in with what the drummer is doing, and that'll help a lot with this line, which, he's using so much distortion on it, and he's there, like I said in the first video, they're tuned a half step down. So that's why we're up here on this E flat, whereas if you listen to the recording, it'll sound like he's playing super low. Kind of muddies things up a little bit. It makes it so you can't hear all the little intricacies of maybe what the bass player is doing. I would say don't focus on that too much. Don't worry about those little intricacies. Make sure we're just kind of able to play a line that's... And we also talked about using a pick last time. So I've been using a pick here. Or that is me using a pick now. You can hear the difference there. So that's my fingers. Check this out. This is our pick. So there's a big difference in tone there. So I spoke with Jack. I know he's been using a pick a little bit. That's great. There's really not a huge advantage or disadvantage to either. A lot of bass players will use a pick. A lot of bass players will use their fingers. I think in an ideal world, it's best to be able to have both skills. So if you can use a pick and then go to your fingers for a different song, then that's very valuable. Versatility. It's good to be versatile musicians here. So that's our verse. So practice that line a bunch. If the recording is too fast, of course, you can always pause it and just practice it on your own. If you have a metronome, that's ideal. Then you can set a nice click to it, so you can practice at your own tempo. But make sure we're getting those notes nice and well-rounded. And we have good finger technique, good positions. We're aware of what key we're in. So we're in E-flat minor here. So if you guys want to, you could start messing around with the E-flat minor pentatonic. You know, it's always fun to mess around with scales. I like to just sit here and do what you can. Just have fun with your instrument. But for this week, continue to focus on learning the end of that verse there. Let's try and get that locked in. And then we'll get into the chorus, and there's one more part to this song. There's really only like 3 big sections in this song. And we'll start talking about the form a little bit more. I'll put together like a chart for you guys to take a look at. And yeah, so keep on practicing, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.